Carcharodontosaurus is a genus of carnivorous theropod dinosaur that lived in North Africa from about 100 to 94 million years ago during the Late Cretaceous. Two teeth of this genus, now lost, were first described from Algeria by French paleontologists Charles Deperey and Justin Savornin as Megalosaurus saharicus. A partial skeleton was collected by crews of German paleontologist Ernest Stromer during a 1914 expedition to Egypt. Stromer did not report the Egyptian find until 1931, in which he dubbed the novel genus Carcharodontosaurus, making the type species Carcharodontosaurus saharicus. Unfortunately, this skeleton was destroyed during the Second World War. In 1995, a nearly complete skull of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus, the first well-preserved specimen to be found in almost a century, was discovered in the Kemkem beds of Morocco. It was designated the neotype in 1996. Fossils unearthed from the Akkar Formation of northern Niger were described and named as another species, Carcharodontosaurus inguinensis. Carcharodontosaurus is one of the largest theropod dinosaurs known, reaching 10 to 12.5 meters, 33 to 41 feet in length, and approximately 4 to 7 tons in body mass. It had a large, lightly built skull with a triangular rostrum. Its jaws were lined with sharp, recurved, serrated teeth that bear striking resemblances to those of the great white shark. The inspiration for the name, though giant, its cranium was made lighter by greatly expanded fossae and fenestra, but also making it more fragile than tyrannosaurids. The forelimbs were tiny, whereas the hind limbs were robust and muscular. Like most other theropods, it had an elongated tail for balance. Many gigantic theropods are known from North Africa during this period, including both species of Carcharodontosaurus, as well as the Spinosaurid Spinosaurus, the possible Ceratosaur deltadromeus, the large, dubious theropod Bahariasaurus, and an unnamed large Abelosaurid. Studies of the bite force and tooth anatomy of Carcharodontosaurids have found them to possess strong, but relatively weak bites compared to other theropod families. North Africa at the time was blanketed in mangrove forests and wetlands, creating a hotspot of fish, crocodiliforms, and pterosaur diversity. Stromer hypothesized that Carcharodontosaurus saharicus was around the same size as the Tyrannosaurid Gorgosaurus, which would place it at around 8 to 9 meters, 26 to 30 feet long, based on his specimen. This individual was around 15% smaller than the neotype. The latter was estimated to be 12 to 12.5 meters, 39 to 41 feet in length, and approximately 5 to 7 tons in body mass. This makes Carcharodontosaurus saharicus one of the largest known theropod dinosaurs and terrestrial carnivores known, being the second biggest Carcharodontosaurid and third largest theropod overall, according to most estimates. Carcharodontosaurus inguinensis was much smaller, only reaching 10 meters, 33 feet in length, and 4 tons in body mass. The largest and most complete skull of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus would measure 1.6 meters, 5 feet, when fully restored, making it comparable in size to the largest Tyrannosaurus skulls. However, no skulls from this genus have been found with intact premaxilli, complete rear skull regions, or mandibles. Generally, the skulls of Carcharodontosaurids are more slender and lightly built compared to the robust, crushing adapting skulls of tyrannosaurs. The neotype skull of Carcharodontosaurus tapers towards the front when viewed from the side, giving it a triangular appearance, much like other Carcharodontosaurids, such as Mapusaurus and Giganotosaurus. Its skull was lighter than that of the tyrannosaurids, with the antorbital fenestra, an opening in front of the eye, making up more than 30% of the skull's length. This fenestra was surrounded by depressions in several bones, including the maxilla, upper jaw, nasals, nose bones, jugals, cheekbones, and lacrimals, bones in front of the eye socket. The nasal bone is elongated and has a roughened front surface, likely covered by a keratin sheath that formed a horn-like structure, similar to that of the Ceratosaurus. A similar roughness is seen on the lacrimal bone, which may have also been extended by keratin, forming another horn-like projection. The maxilla of Carcharodontosaurus would have measured around 70 centimeters, 28 inches in length when fully intact, while the maxilla of the neotype is notably larger. Each maxilla contains 14 tooth sockets. Portions of the brain case have been identified, and much of its structure resembles that of Giganotosaurus. However, Carcharodontosaurus saharicus features a more pronounced nuchal crest that extends over the top of the skull. The frontal bones are tightly fused, a common trait among theropods. Estimates of Carcharodontosaurus's total tooth count vary, but recent studies suggest it may have had 30 teeth in the lower jaw, 8 in the premaxilla, and 24 in the maxilla, for a total of 62 teeth. The teeth of Carcharodontosaurids rank among the largest of any dinosaur, with a maxillary tooth from Carcharodontosaurus measuring 6.8 centimeters, 2.7 inches in height, and 3.5 centimeters, 1.4 inches in width. Though they remain remarkably thin, typically less than a centimeter thick. Both the front and back edges of the teeth are lined with serrations, with Carcharodontosaurus saharicus featuring 18 to 20 serrations per centimeter, and Carcharodontosaurus inguinus reaching up to 32 serrations per centimeter. The teeth are straight, laterally flattened, and spindle-shaped in cross-section, though those toward the back of the mouth become more curved, with the rear edges recurved and ending in a convex tip. In 2001, Hans Larsen published a study describing the inner ear and brain structure of the Carcharodontosaurus saharicus. The brain began with the forebrain, located near the tip of the dinosaur's snout, followed by the midbrain, which angled downward at about 45 degrees toward the rear of the animal. Behind this was the hindbrain, positioned roughly parallel to the forebrain, forming in an approximate 40-degree angle with the midbrain. Overall, the brain structure of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus was similar to that of its relative, Allosaurus fragilis. Larsen noted that the ratio of the cerebrum to the total brain volume was typical for non-avian reptiles. Additionally, Carcharodontosaurus had a notably large optic nerve, likely indicating strong visual capabilities. The inner ear of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus featured 3 semicircular canals that, when viewed from the side, formed a subtriangular shape. This configuration is shared by Allosaurus, lizards, and turtles, but differs from that of birds. Carcharodontosaurus is a type genus of the family Carcharodontosauridae, which includes Carcharodontosaurus along with other large theropods like Giganotosaurus, Mapusaurus, Meraxus, and Tyrannotitan. These genera form a distinct tribe known as Giganotosauridae. The family Carcharodontosauridae was originally established by Ernest Romer for Carcharodontosaurus and Behariosaurus, though it was largely forgotten until more members of the group were identified in the late 20th century. Stromer had noted similarities between Carcharodontosaurus and the American theropods, Allosaurus and Tyrannosaurus, classifying them within the broader group of theropoda. In 1996, Paul Serino's description of new Carcharodontosaurus fossils highlighted the existence of a transcontinental clade of Carcharodontosaurids. As additional members of this group were discovered, their evolutionary relationships became clear. In 2004, paleontologist Thomas Holtz and colleagues defined Carcharodontosauridae as a clade that includes all allosauroids, more closely related to Carcharodontosaurus than to Allosaurus or Sinraptor. Despite its importance, Carcharodontosaurus remains less well known than many of its relatives, such as Meraxus and Giganotosaurus, which are represented by nearly complete skeletons. Members of this family have been found across every continent, except Oceania and Antarctica, dating from the late Jurassic to the Middle Cretaceous. In 2022, Carcharodontosaurus was identified as the earliest diverging member of the subfamily Carcharodontosaurinae, based on phylogenetic analysis. Rodolfo Coria and Leonardo Salgado suggested that the convergent evolution of gigantism in theropods could be tied to similar environmental conditions across their habitats. Serino and his colleagues found that Carcharodontosaurids were widespread during the early Cretaceous, with fossils discovered in Africa, Carcharodontosaurus, North America, Acrocanthosaurus, and South America, Giganotosaurus. By the late Cretaceous, ocean barriers had several dispersal routes between northern and southern continents, leading to more distinct regional faunas. Previously, it was believed that the northern continents were dominated by tyrannosaurids, South America by abelisaurids, and Africa by Carcharodontosaurids. The subfamily Carcharodontosaurinae appears to have been restricted to the southern landmass of Gondwana, compromising South America and Africa, where they likely served as apex predators. The tribe Giganotosaurinae in South America may have been separated from their African relatives by the breakup of Gondwana during the Aptian-Albium stages of the early Cretaceous. In 2015, paleontologist Donald Henderson and paleoartist Robert Nichols conducted a biochemical study using 3D models to analyze Carcharodontosaurus's lifting strength. Their simulation, which included lung size and pneumatic structures, found that an adult Carcharodontosaurus saharicus could lift up to 424 kilograms, 935 pounds, about half the weight of an adult Locomosaurus. Together, two adults could lift up to 850 kilograms, 1,870 pounds. The dentition of Allosauroids is notably distinct, with Carcharodontosaurid teeth characterized by their thin, blade-like structure. These teeth, while robust compared to those of smaller theropods, are still relatively thin and may have been prone to bending or snapping upon impact with hard surfaces like bone. Their straight edges, slightly recurved tips, and sinusoidal shapes further increase the risk of damage. Despite these vulnerabilities, the overall size and robustness of these teeth allowed them to withstand significant pressure. Carcharodontosaurus had a high tooth replacement rate, enabling it to quickly replace damaged teeth, unlike modern bone-crushing mammals that invest considerable energy in maintaining their teeth. Evidence from Allosaurus suggests that some theropods engaged in bone-crunching behaviors. For instance, Allosaurus has been observed to bite into the pelvis of Stegosaurus, leaving distinct bite marks. Studies have analyzed the bite forces of Carcharodontosaurus and other giant theropods, such as Acrothantosaurus and Tyrannosaurus. These studies revealed that Carcharodontosaurids had significantly lower bite forces compared to Tyrannosaurus, despite their similar size. A 2022 study estimated that its anterior bite force was 11,312 newtons and the posterior bite force of 25,449 newtons. These values suggest that it did not feed on bone. Finite element analysis of theropod skulls further supports this, showing that Carcharodontosaurus, Spinosaurus, and Acrothantosaurus experienced substantial stress in the posterior part of the cranium, near the quadrate. This stress was higher compared to smaller theropods, indicating that these large theropods had less stable skull structures due to their extensive pneumatic cavities, which reduced weight but compromised strength. Spinosaurus and Suchonomus showed even higher stress values, suggesting they could only consume smaller prey, whereas Carcharodontosaurus could handle larger items despite the stress. Carcharodontosaurus was primarily terrestrial, as indicated by its teeth being found in land deposits and isotopic data suggesting with endotherm-like thermophysiology, obtaining most of its oxygen from drinking water rather than its environment. In contrast, Spinosaurus likely had semi-aquatic habits. Theropods such as Carcharodontosaurus, Allosaurus, and Acrocanthosaurus have enlarged lacrimal crests, whose purpose is unknown. Paleontologist Daniel Chur hypothesized that these crests were used for headbutting between individuals, but how durable they are has not been studied. In a 2006 study, biologist Kent Stevens examined the binocular vision of Carcharodontosaurus and Allosaurus, as well as several Coelurosaurs, like Tyrannosaurus and Stegosaurus. By applying modified pyrometry to models of these dinosaurs' heads, Stevens found that Carcharodontosaurus had limited binocular vision due to its large, elongated snout. The dinosaur's best binocular vision occurred at higher elevations, suggesting it may have typically held its head at a downward angle of about 40 degrees, with its eyes angled upwards to maximize this field of vision. The vision range in these Allosauroids is similar to that of crocodiles, indicating they were likely ambush predators. This limited binocular vision would have helped them judge prey distances and time their attacks, relying on motion parallax between the prey and background. Carcharodontosaurus may have had prolonged growth periods compared to other large predators like Tyrannosaurs, which grew rapidly. For instance, Meraxes gigas exhibited very slow growth, taking at least 28 years to reach its full size. This dinosaur was estimated to be between 39 to 53 years old at the time of its death, making it one of the oldest dinosaurs known. Despite their enormity, Carcharodontosaurus were believed to be an extremely fast runner, reaching a top speed of about 20 miles per hour. The basis of these calculations were obtained using fossilized footprints from mid-Cretaceous formations found near the location of C. saharicus's remains that coincide with its estimated size. Upon deep analysis of Carcharodontosaurus's bone, paleontologists discovered preserved lung tissue that contained air sacs. These air sacs were remarkably similar to that of modern birds and allow for a constant flow of oxygen into the lungs. Increased oxygen saturation is an extremely efficient breathing technique that would aid Carcharodontosaurus in running faster and for longer stretches of time while pursuing prey. Fossils of Carcharodontosaurus have been found in several Cretaceous-age sites across North Africa, similar to the ranges of Spinosaurus and Deltadromeus. During this period, North Africa bordered the Tethys Sea, creating a mangrove-dominated coastal environment with extensive tidal flats and waterways. Isotopic analysis of Carcharodontosaurus and Spinosaurus fossils indicates that the Chem beds experience intermittent monsoon seasons rather than constant rainfall, akin to modern subtropical and tropical climates in Southeast Asia and sub-Saharan Africa. These riverine deposits contain large fish species, such as the Sosque oncoprestes, Coelacanth mawsonia, and Bashir bawidius, which led to the evolution of large piscivorous crocodiliforms, like the giant Stomatosuchus in Egypt, and Elosuchus, Giganotosaurus, and Aegisuchus in Morocco. Morocco also hosted numerous pterosaurs, including Ceracopteryx and Nicorhynchus. The dinosaur fauna at these sites is unusual for its scarcity of herbivore species compared to the carnivorous ones, suggesting niche partitioning among theropods, with Spinosaurids primarily eating fish and other groups preying on herbivorous dinosaurs. Isotopic evidence supports this, showing that Carcharodontosaurids and Ceratosaurs in the Chem beds and Elras Formation consumed large terrestrial animals. Past the Turonian age, 93.9 to 89.8 million years ago, Carcharodontosaurus might have been replaced by smaller Ankylosaurids in Gondwana and by Tyrannosaurids in North America and Asia. The disappearance of Carcharodontosaurids, Spinosaurids, and other megafauna in Gondwana and across the world suggests a global replacement event. Regardless of this potential event, fossils discovered in Brazil, which appear to be the Carcharodontosaurids, indicate some survivors of this group until the latest stage of the Cretaceous. Until this era, Carcharodontosaurids were often attaining lengths comparable to that of a small bus. Many paleontologists believe that the removal of Carcharodontosaurids allowed for Tyrannosaurus to attain their impressive size and fill empty feeding niches. Mapusaurus, meaning earth lizard, was a massive Carcharodontosaurid theropod dinosaur that lived in what is now Argentina during the Turonian stage of the Late Cretaceous period. Mapusaurus was discovered during excavations carried out by the Argentinian-Canadian Dinosaur Project between 1997 and 2001. The fossils were found in the Julian Formation at Canandon Delgado, Argentina, which dates back to the late Cenomanian Turonian period. The dinosaur was officially described and named in 2006 by paleontologists Rodolfo Coria and Phil Curry. The main fossil or holotype of Mapusaurus rosea is a single right nasal bone housed at the Museo Carmen Funes in Argentina. Along with this, 12 additional paratypes have been identified, consisting of various isolated bones. Together, these fossils represent most of the skeleton of Mapusaurus, which was recovered from a bone bed containing multiple individuals. Mapusaurus was a large theropod dinosaur, though slightly smaller than its close relative, Giganotosaurus. The largest Mapusaurus specimens are estimated to have measured between 10.2 and 12.2 meters, 33 to 40 feet in length, with a weight ranging from 3 to 6 tons. Mapusaurus is identified by unique features called autapomorphies in parts of the skeleton that are not preserved by Giganotosaurus. The key differences between the two include Mapusaurus lacking a second opening in the middle of the quadrant bone and having distinct nasal ridges that Giganotosaurus does not possess. Like Giganotosaurus, Mapusaurus likely exhibited social hunting behavior, potentially working together in groups to take down larger prey, such as the giant theropod Argentinosaurus. If confirmed, this would represent the first substantial evidence of gregarious behavior among large theropods, aside from Tyrannosaurus rex. However, it remains unclear whether Mapusaurus hunted in organized packs, like wolves or lions, or simply engaged in mob-like attacks. The Julian Formation, where the Mapusaurus fossils were discovered, is interpreted as a freshwater paleochannel deposit, likely formed by a seasonal stream in a region with an arid or semi-arid climate. This bone bed is of particular interest due to the overall scarcity of fossilized bones within the Julian Formation. An ontogenetic study revealed that Mapusaurus displayed heterochrony, an evolutionary process where ancestral traits are present during early stages of life, but gradually fade as the animal matures. In Mapusaurus, this was evident in younger individuals, which had maxillary fenestrate that disappeared over time as they grew older. Giganotosaurus, meaning giant southern lizard, was a colossal theropod that lived approximately 99.6 to 95 million years ago during the Late Cretaceous period. First discovered in 1993 in the Neuquén province of Patagonia, Argentina. This dinosaur is recognized as one of the largest carnivorous dinosaurs to ever walk the Earth. The genus Giganotosaurus carolinii was formally named and described in 1995 by paleontologists Rodolfo Coria and Leonardo Salgado. The initial discovery of Giganotosaurus occurred in the Candelorus Formation, a region rich in dinosaur fossils from the Cenomanian stage of the Late Cretaceous. The first specimen, discovered by amateur fossil hunter Ruben Dario Carolini, consisted of about 70% of a skeleton, including significant parts of the skull, backbone, pelvis, and leg bones. Though no complete skeleton has yet been found, additional fossil discoveries have helped scientists piece together the anatomy of this remarkable predator. One of Giganotosaurus's most striking features is its massive skull. The holotype skull is estimated to be around 1.6 meters, 5.2 feet long. This formidable head housed an array of sharp, serrated teeth designed for slicing through flesh rather than crushing bone like the teeth of its distant relative, Tyrannosaurus rex. Giganotosaurus also had strong, muscular legs and a long, powerful tail that likely helped with balance and agility when chasing prey. Though Giganotosaurus had relatively short arms, like other members of the Carcharodontosauridae family, their exact structure and functionality remain unclear due to incomplete fossil evidence. Paleontologists continue to debate how much these limbs contributed to hunting, with more fossils needed to answer this question definitively. As one of the largest theropods, Giganotosaurus's size has been a subject of significant interest and debate. The holotype specimen is estimated to have been between 12 and 13.2 meters, 39 to 43 feet long, and weighed between 6 and 13.8 tons. Some estimates suggest that Giganotosaurus may have rivaled or even exceeded Tyrannosaurus rex in size, though this comparison remains contested within the paleontological community due to incomplete fossil records. Its body was relatively slender for such a massive creature, allowing for greater agility than other large theropods. Its long legs indicate that Giganotosaurus may have been capable of relatively fast movement, which would have been advantageous when hunting the massive herbivores that roamed the Late Cretaceous. Modeling studies estimate that the dinosaur's top speed was 50.4 kilometers, 31.3 miles per hour. Like other Carcharodontosaurids, such as Mapusaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, Giganotosaurus was a carnivore that preyed on large herbivore dinosaurs. Its diet likely included titanosaurid sauropods, like Argentinosaurus, one of the largest land animals ever discovered. The structure of its teeth suggests that Giganotosaurus employed a hunting strategy of inflicting deep wounds on its prey, allowing it to bleed out rather than relying on a powerful bite to kill quickly, as with Tyrannosaurus rex. Despite its formidable size, its bite force was significantly weaker than of the T-Rex, indicating different hunting techniques between these apex predators. The discovery of multiple Carcharodontosaurid fossils, including those of Mapusaurus, in the same bone beds suggests that Giganotosaurus may have exhibited some form of social or group behavior, possibly even hunting in packs. This would have given them a considerable advantage when taking down massive sauropods, which would have been difficult to subdue alone. Evidence of possible pack behavior and communal living has added another dimension to our understanding of Giganotosaurus and its relatives. While it's unclear whether Giganotosaurus engaged in organized hunting similar to modern pack animals, the close proximity of fossils from multiple individuals at certain dig sites suggests that these dinosaurs lived and possibly hunted together.